Joining us here on the record, the woman of the hour, Gretchen Diez. She was barred from using the female restroom in a Quezon City Mall. Good evening to you, Gretchen.
Good evening.
So the whole country knows your story now. Nakita namin yung Facebook Live mo nung gabi na yun sa isang mall sa Quezon City. Anong tumatakbo sa utak mo nung time na yun? Na bakit ka nag-Facebook Live? Anong kinatatakutan mo? And was that the first time it happened to you?
It is not the first time that happened to me. When I was younger, I had experiences na I'm being kicked out of the washroom, the female washroom specifically, simply because I'm a transgender and they don't accept that. During those times, I'm not educated about my rights and I'm not the type of person po na argumentative kasi. So ang gagawin ko, aalis na lang ako and then pipigilin mo na lang siya until you find an establishment or just go home at dun mo finally na makapag-pee. And now that I'm educated, I felt like I need to fight for it. But to be honest, even though I am already aware of my rights, sometimes I don't execute it. Like for example, during that instance when I went there in Cubao, I entered the washroom and they asked me to use the male washroom. So I got disappointed. I was about to go out of the mall na. I was 6 steps away from the washroom. I don't know what came into my mind, but I just felt like, wait, I know my rights and I have to report this. And the only way for me to report that is to document it because without evidences, it might be hard to prove. So that's the only reason why I camcorded the janitress. So I asked her, ate, ba't saan mo ba ako uling gustong pagsiarin? Sabi niya, sa lalaki. And then she asked me, magpipicture ka ba? Sabi ko, no ate, nag-video po ako. Sabi, nag-video ka. That's when she dragged me there. When I went inside the security room, I stopped recording videos because it's a security room. I'm supposed to feel secure there because one of their supposedly mission is to protect its customers. Okay, so nandun na ako. And then I was asking, why am I dragged here? I asked 3 times specifically. They're not answering. And then dumarating na yung maraming security officers and I felt outnumbered. Mag-isa lang po ako at marami sila. Anything that would happen there might be twisted. The truth might be twisted because there's only one me. I only have one truth. And if there's 5 of them who will testify with the same story, no one would believe me. So I knew that I have to document it. And I also know that I have to reach out to someone for help. And I realized if I'm going to record it, then I'm not able to text or call someone. If I'm going to call someone or text, I'm not able to record what is happening. So the only way for me to do that is to go live on Facebook. And I did not put any caption because I don't want to prejudge what is happening in the same way as I don't want to be judged. So there's no caption, I just went live. I just want my friends, my closest friends and my family to see what is happening. And if they see something foul in it, then they will be the ones to comment that, hey, that's not right. And just around 5 minutes, there were comments that, hindi yan tama, asan ka ngayon? That's when I started narrating. In fact, my live video, if you would notice, it started with a question so that it will be documented. Ate, bakit nyo nga po uli ako dinala rito? Ano po ang violation ko? Ano po ba nagawa ko? Then, in-approach ako nung janitress na nagdala sa akin doon. Sabi niya, ang sagot niya sa akin is, tandaan mo, and then the body part of a male, may ganyan ka pa rin. Ba't ka nag-video ngayon? Gusto mong sumikat? Hindi kasi sikat. Kasi hindi ka naman maganda, hindi ka artistain. And then she was saying na, sige, share nyo, i-like nyo para sumikat yung baklang yan. So, I felt like that experience is something that is a representation of how we are mocked, how we are being harassed every day. That video is a whole picture of how we've been treated in the society, and yet we keep silent. Right? We've been asking questions because it's confusion. It is confusing. Why are you doing this to us?
Yung naka-handcuffs ka, how did you feel nung pinosasan ka?
I felt like a criminal. Honestly po, wala po akong kamag-anak, wala akong kasama kahit kaibigan man lang to protect me. And then they told me that they will be needing to handcuff me. And the only communication that I have is my cell phone with to my friends, to my family, and to the lawyers who's trying to rescue me. So I asked the police officer, sabi ko, sir, baka pwede pong handcuff ko sa harapan para po masagot ko man lang yung tawag ng pamilya ko kasi hindi nila alam kung saan niyo po akong presinto dadalhin. or para makapag-reply man ako sa text messages. Ang sabi lang po sa akin, no, dapat sa likod yan. Standard operating procedures yan kasi natakasan na ako dati. And yung nakikita mong hinahandcuff sa harap, hindi sa pelikula lang nangyayari yun. Wala ka naman sa pelikula kaya huwag kang umarte. So I felt very degraded. I felt very helpless that time.
Umiiyak ka daw. Sabi kanina, kausap namin si Dindita, yung from the LGBT group.
During the time po that from the security center going to medical center and going to Camp Karingal, I was not crying because I'm trying to be strong for myself. But when I went to Camp Karingal, seeing some TV organizations already there, seeing Miss Dindi that is already there, and then she told me, hala, bakit niyo pinusasan yan? Hindi criminal yan. That's when my tears started flowing. I felt bad for myself because parang na-remind ako na, oo nga, mukha akong criminal ngayon, which is something that I don't deserve. Ako po dapat yung nagreklamo. And yet ako po yung pinusasan, pinarada sa medical center ng nakaposas. At pagdating po sa Camp Karingal, then Ma'am Dindi is trying to ask them to remove the handcuff. Hindi criminal yan. And even my lawyer is already there, Attorney Tetay, she's asking to have the handcuff removed. And you know what they told them? Ay, hindi pa po natin mariremove yan kasi wala pong susi. So what are we going to do? We just let her stay that way? Hindi po magagawa na po natin paraan, hahanapan po natin ng kapares na susi. So it took them 3 keys before finally na-remove na po yung handcuff sa akin. So it's almost half an hour na nasa loob na po ako ng nakaposas pa rin ako. As if I did something really terrible to think that I just attempted to enter a female's washroom.
But the Quezon City Mall already issued an apology. Are you accepting that? Or what's your next plan?
I should be an example of forgiveness. Apologies accepted. I know that they admitted this mistake, but at the end of the day, justice should be served. So tomorrow po, morning, we'll be filing official case against the management of Farmers Plaza, to the staff who have harassed me. Definitely.
Anong case ang ipa-file niyo? Yeah.
I'm not sure if I could disclose it first, but one thing's for sure, we'll be going with the violation against the city ordinance, the gender fair ordinance. That is for sure. And the details will be discussed po tomorrow by my legal team.
Okay, kanina we were also interviewing Senator Risa Ontiveros and sinasabi niya dahil doon sa iyong bravery, no, she believes na mas uusad na itong anti-discrimination bill or SOGI equality bill. How do you feel about it? That everyone's supportive of you and of this law? Mas maraming nagsusuporta ngayon.
First of all, I feel really grateful. And second, I feel so proud to become part of the LGBTQI plus community. Knowing that we can settle our differences, you know, our gender would, just like the straight male and female, would have differences like politics or views on how we should handle things, on how we should act in times of crisis like that. But on that night, seeing everyone from different spectrum of the rainbow coming in together at one cause, that made me realize that we can really fight as one and settle our differences because we only have one goal at the end of the day. We would like to live freely. We'd like to fight for our right and walk the streets with our head up high, and we can make free choices on how we live without stepping on someone else's foot.
So yung last na lang, yung message mo na lang to the critics, those who are still not in favor, baka may mga lawmakers pa rin na, especially in the Senate, na hindi magpapalusot nitong SOGI equality bill. What's your message to them and to the others out there?
Well, never stop learning. I think the only reason why we hate certain things is because we don't understand. And how would we understand things? That is through educating ourselves. And this goes not just to the citizens of the Philippines, this goes to our lawmakers. They are in that position because the people trusted them. So we are expecting so much from them. The information should be coming from them. They should be the ones to educate us and not the ones who's inquiring about what do you mean by transgender? What do you mean by transsexual? They are people of higher repute. They are reputable people, and we look up to them. They should serve as a good example of how a person should act in a crisis like this. And I call this a crisis because it is happening in a city which is considered as the friendliest city to the LGBTQ community. How much more to those cities who are deprived of these ordinances, and how much more to those transgender, to those lesbian or gay, who is not even aware of their basic human rights, right? I think it's about time for us to move. It's about to those sitting in Congress and in the Senate. It's about time for you to prove why people voted you, why you are worthy of representing the people.
Okay, thank you very much to Gretchen Diez for joining us tonight.